Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel or welcome. If it is your first time here, I'm V Coles and welcome to my space. Let's go. So by the title, you guys already know we are going to be talking about drugstore primers. For the past month, I've been trying out different drugstore primers because I realized I did not own more than these 3 drugstore primers, and that's unacceptable. I was organizing all of my makeup and I realized majority of my primers came from Sephora, meaning I was spending over $20 for a primer. And while, I'm not going to knock that, I'm not going to say it's not smart to buy expensive primers or primers that cost $20 to $30. But I think it's very important to have a balance of drugstore primers and expensive primers. What I've realized with makeup is just because something costs $10 doesn't mean it's not good quality. And e.l.f. has really proven that. You know what I mean? Because I believe this primer is $8 and it's such an amazing primer. It does such a good job with, making your makeup last on your face. So I went to Target and I went and I purchased primers. So this bag is filled with different primers. I think I have about 10 different primers in here and I've been trying them out like I said earlier. I kind of just wanted to challenge myself to find different drugstore primers and just to see what they can actually do when I compare them to a higher end primer. Will my makeup last? Will my makeup look good? Do I need to spend that much money just to, have a flawless looking face when it comes to my makeup? And what I will say, these primers did not disappoint. All of them were under $20. I think the most expensive one was maybe $10.99. I really feel like that's the most I spent on these primers, which is really, really good. So let's just jump right in and let me show you guys the ones that I purchased. And I'll give you guys my thoughts on them. Let's get started. All right, so the first product we're going to talk about is this Neutrogena Shine Control Primer. It's made with rice protein complex. The thing about rice protein is it's very good when it comes to absorbing your oils. Now, when I saw this primer in Target, I literally was like, oh my God, it brought back so many memories. This was a primer I used when I was in my early 20s. Like, this was my go-to. I couldn't really afford to go to Sephora and buy a primer for $30 at that time. So I would go to my local CVS and get this for $12.99 because, CVS always up the charges. But if you go to Target, you could get it for, I think, $9.99. This primer used to get me through those tough days. Those tough days where you put makeup on and you're very insecure because you don't know if you're going to look like melted cheese. This right here used to get me through those days. Oh my God, obsessed, love this primer. So my oily girls out there who are buying the expensive primers because you feel like you have no other choice, you want to wear makeup and you want to control those oils, try this primer out. I promise you will not be disappointed. It is such a great primer. I actually stopped using it once my skin became more combination. This primer kind of became a little too excessive for me. Like I've told you guys in previous videos, what happens is my T-zone gets oily, but then my cheeks get a little dry. It got to the point where like this primer would kind of dry my cheeks out a little too much because it's so intense. Like, it really is mattifying. So what I did when I was testing this out again, just to be reminded of how good it was, I used it mainly in my T-zone area. I didn't really get too crazy with putting it all over my face. I ended up combining it with a different primer, and the other primer that I combined it with was the Wet n Wild primer serum. It's a hydrating primer, and what I did was I would put this all on my cheeks, and then I would put this in my T-zone and a little bit past my T-zone, but this would also kind of be like meeting it. Okay, so I'm going to use this moment to introduce the next primer that I love. Since I already mentioned it, is going to be the Wet n Wild Prime Focus Primer Serum Hydrating Primer. So this was actually $6.99. Again, very affordable. It is a hydrating primer. So for those of you that are going to look at me like, wait, what? Yes, I am combination, but I'm realizing that I kind of need to use both because sometimes a primer can just be too mattifying where I need to put some hydration on the parts of my face where it gets dry. It's makeup. You can have fun with the ways in which you apply your makeup. And so I'm kind of getting more creative with the ways I use my primer. So this primer, I would kind of use it all over like my drier areas. So like my cheek area where I get really dry, a little bit on my forehead. And what I will say is very hydrating. And then I would go down my T-zone area with a mattifying primer. This works. It really works. It really does hydrate. I actually one day just wore it without any makeup. I just kind of put it on just like, cause it's a serum, it's a primer serum. So I was like, you know what, let me just put it on just to see, what it's gonna do. I had, set under my eye and under my eye got really dry. So I actually washed my face and then I went in and I put some of this on. And guys, this is very hydrating. So since we're already talking about hydrating primers, let me just mention some of the other hydrating primers that I did purchase. I got the Wet n Wild Water Drop Primer in Rose. And then I also got the LA Girl Pro Prep Moisture Nourishing Face Primer. Both of these were very pleasant to use. They were hydrating. Again, I just use them in specific areas where my face gets very dry, and I had a pleasant experience with them. This I believe is $4.99. This I believe is $8.99. They're dope. This one, okay, let's talk about this one. This one is a cream to water formula. So what that means is I'm going to show you because I really loved the way they supplied. So put it on. Oh, I put a little too much. Okay. And what you do is once you start to rub it in, it like literally dissolves like it's water. So it's a cream to water formula. As you're rubbing it into your skin, it literally just starts to feel like you're like rubbing water onto your skin. You know what I mean? Because you don't feel that creamy consistency anymore. It really just dissolves into like a water like feeling, which I really loved. It was so pleasant to use. So, and it's very lightly scented, but the scent is pleasant. It just smells clean. Yeah, okay, so this does say it's supposed to blur the appearance of pores. I didn't use it in my porous area, so I don't know if it actually does that, but it is hydrating. It was like, it did moisturize me. I felt moisturized when I used this for sure. This one did the same thing. It was also a hydrating primer. It's a moisturizing primer. So if you are someone who is more on the drier side, definitely purchase it. Now, if you're excessively dry, like I mentioned earlier, I don't think these would work for you. I'm going to keep it all the way real. I don't think they're hydrating enough for someone like, for example, Aaliyah J. Like, she has very dry skin. Like, she moisturizes with very thick creams to give her that moisture that her skin needs. If she were to, I don't think a primer like this would really be enough for her. You know what I mean? To, you know, allow her not to feel like her skin is dry. Because it's such a lightweight consistency, I feel like it's not rich enough. But if you're just like, oh, I have dry skin, I just have to use a moisturizing primer and I'm good, these will work perfectly for you. Perfectly. They're really good products. So we're going to get into the Maybelline Master Primer. This primer here is supposed to blur imperfections and reduce appearance of pores. It's supposed to smooth your skin and make it more even. It's a lightweight, non-oily primer, and it does not clog pores. The one thing I'm going to say, it is lightweight. It does not clog pores, and that's it. This was my least favorite drugstore primer. I kind of feel like this is a dupe for the Smashbox Primer, and the Smashbox Primer is also a primer I don't like. So when I ended up not liking this, I was like, you know what? I get it. I don't feel like it blurred out my pores. I don't feel like it helped me maintain my oils. I was extremely oily when using this. This one I actually used all over my face by itself because I really wanted to see what it would do. So, yeah, it didn't do nothing for me. Like, my T-zone area was extremely oily. It didn't make my face feel like I couldn't move it, which was a good thing, but it also did not help me with maintaining my oil, so I didn't look like melted cheese. So I would not purchase this primer again. I feel like if you're oily, you 100% cannot use this. 100%. If you are oily, don't even look at this. No. Don't look at this. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't buy it. Don't look at it. I feel like if your combination, depending on your skin type, it can work for you. But for me, it was just a fail. And I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, if I'm being 100% honest. I wouldn't recommend it to a single soul. This one was very disappointing to me. So we're going to put that down. The next primer we're going to talk about is this Milani Prime Shield Face Primer. Love this primer. Absolutely love this primer. Beyond love this primer. It did a great job. So it's a mattifying primer. I use this all over my face. So I love this. I would recommend this. It's supposed to create a smooth canvas for makeup. It mattifies and perfects skin. It minimizes the look of pores and fine lines. It's also a lightweight, non-greasy feel. That's what it's supposed to feel like on your skin. All of that is very true. When I use it, I felt like the pores around my nose, around here. So where's my little mirror? Just want to make sure I'm pointing to the right space for you guys. Okay, so around here is where I like my pores just go crazy. And then down here. So when I used this primer, it did do a good job of blurring it out. Now, I'm going to keep it real with you. It didn't make me look like a filter. You know what I mean? But it did do a good job of creating this smooth canvas for me where when I put my foundation on, I didn't see my pores just sticking out automatically. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it looked good. On top of that, it did a very good job of allowing me to be matte for the entire day, but I wasn't matte to the point where I couldn't move my face. It was a comfortable matte. Like, I, added my layers, my powders, my setting spray, and I could still move my face. So this primer is definitely a primer I would purchase again. And I'm going to be all the way honest. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like for someone with combination skin, this primer, golden. Golden. But if you're someone who's like, I'm oily, like excessively oily, this isn't it. I would not recommend this for someone that is excessively oily. So the next primer we're going to talk about is the Rimmel London Stay Matte Mattifying Primer. Now, this primer I love, absolutely love it. I don't know why I've never tried this before. Like, it's such a great primer. I did combine this primer with my Wet n Wild's primer, where I use the Wet n Wild's on my cheeks, and then I use this mostly in my T-zone area. And what I will say is this was such a pleasant experience. I had makeup on that day for like 7 hours because I was doing a lot. And this held it down. My T-zone area was like, it was good. I didn't start to see like I didn't have to kind of do a little bit of a touch up until like after 5 hours, which is pretty good. I'm not going to complain. Like, I'm going to be realistic here. So it's supposed to, control shine, which it did. It's pore minimizing. It does a decent job of minimizing your pores. I feel like the Milani Cosmetics one does a better job of minimizing your pores. It's hydrating. It gives you a hydrated feel. It does. It really does. Because although my T-zone area wasn't producing any oils, I didn't feel like it was tightening up or anything like that. And then it's supposed to smooth out your skin. I'm not going to say that it does that. The smoothing out your skin, I don't feel like it did that 100%, or the pore minimizing. I feel like it did a good job of just making you look good, but it didn't give you like that pore minimized look or that very smooth look with your makeup. But would I recommend it or would I buy it again? Yes, this wasn't a bad primer. Okay, so the next primer I'm going to mention is the Revlon Photoready Prime Plus Mattifying and Pore Reducing Primer. So this primer also comes with a hydrating version of it, which I didn't get again because I gravitated towards my mattifying ones. I actually really, really loved this primer. One thing I really love is packaging. I love that it's a pump. I don't know. I just kind of feel like I really liked it a lot. So this primer promises to do two things. It promises to mattify you. It promises to keep you matte, and it also promises to reduce your pores so you have a very smooth finish. I actually feel like it does just that. Like, I have no complaints about it. I had this primer on for over 6 hours. When I tested it out, I actually had a very long day that day. And I was really nervous because I didn't know. But I was like, you know what? Just go for it. And I'm happy that I did. This primer is, I believe, either $10.99 or $11.99. And I would actually recommend this and buy it again. It did a very good job of keeping my makeup intact and just keeping my face together. I mean, obviously after 6 hours, you'll have to blot or touch up a little bit, but I was able to go 6 hours before having to do my touch-ups with a drugstore primer. Like, that's pretty good. I got like it was the same thing for these three. Like, I lasted over 6 hours before I had to touch it up. You get what I'm trying to say? This primer right here, I didn't even last 2 hours, and I was like looking a hot, all oily mess. And I literally tested this primer out on a day where it rained, and 2 hours in, I was already looking oily. So this one is just ridiculous. But these three here, like, it like, they held up. They did exactly what they were supposed to do, which was keep me matte, keep my makeup there. The next primer we're going to talk about is this Covergirl Pore Minimizing Primer. The first thing is I would not recommend it to a single soul. I just don't know what this was doing. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I really don't. Do I feel like it maintained my oils and kept me matte? The answer is no. Do I feel like it really minimized my pores where they weren't visible? The answer is, it wasn't, like, it wasn't better than my Milani one. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it wasn't even better than the Rimmel London Stay Matte one, which I don't know. I personally would not recommend this. I don't feel like it did a good job of maintaining my oils. I don't feel like it did a good job of just allowing me to have a really good just makeup application throughout the day. I feel like I was really a little self-conscious when I had this primer on, and throughout the day I just kept checking my face, kept blotting, I just kept touching my makeup. And I don't like doing that. I like to at least go 2-3 hours before I have to like, I actually like to go a good 4 hours. I like to go a good 4 hours before I feel that pressure to touch up my face. You know what I mean? And again, with this primer, I feel like 2 hours in, I was touching my face. This primer, 2 hours in, I was touching my face. Primers that make me feel like I have to, keep blotting or just, adding powder just to be matte right here. I see a little shine coming here. Let me mattify it. I don't like that. So, these for me were like epic fails. Womp, womp, womp. I would never buy them. I would never recommend them. Depending on your skin type, for some people these do work, but for me they were a no. 100% no. And then the last primer that I have is the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock Primer. Loved this primer. Love packaging. It's super cute, super sleek. So it's supposed to give you a matte finish. It preps and prepares your skin for makeup, and it also soothes any fine lines, and it also blurs out any pores. It kept me matte. It blurred out my pores. It prepped my skin for a really good makeup application. And do I feel like it smoothed out any fine lines? I'm gonna say no. But overall, I would purchase it again. It wasn't a bad experience. I enjoyed wearing it. I actually paired it with my Wet n Wild primer, and I loved the way they worked together. I then later on went and I used this by itself, and this was a pleasant experience. This primer does majority of the things that it promotes. Would I recommend it or would I buy it again? The answer is yes. I absolutely really loved this product. This is actually one of my favorite ones to use. I feel like, L'Oreal did a really good job with this product. And yeah, I mean, I'm just upset that I found out about it so late. Like, why didn't I ever, use it before? Because it's really a great primer. Out of all of the primers that I discussed, what I will say is my top favorite was the Milani Prime Shield Primer. I feel like this did an amazing, amazing job. Just overall, with all of the things that it promises, I feel like it delivered. It surprised me the most because I did not expect for me to love it as much as I loved it, but I'm happy that I tried it. And the other primer that I will say I will go out of my way to purchase will be these two, for sure. I will definitely go out of my way to purchase these two. Yeah. This one I might love more for like the summertime, and this one I might actually use during the cooler months. This one I would just use year round, but this one I really, really liked. And so this one I had the same type of love for it also. But overall, I feel like the primers I purchased were just a great experience. I can't wait to do this again and just try different drugstore primers. I 100% would never recommend this to anyone. Honestly, if anybody has used them, please comment down below and let me know your technique with them. Maybe it's just the way I went about using them that wasn't the best for me, but I just don't feel like I got, to really enjoy them. I don't feel like they did anything amazing for me. I feel like they were just so whack. I really, really, really dislike both of these primers. So if anybody has tried these two primers, comment down below and let me know how you made them work for you if you happen to love them. All right, my loves, that about wraps it up for me when it comes to primers. I will have links down below in my description box for every single one of these primers in case some of you guys are interested in them and want to, look them up and read further on the details about them. I hope that I did a great job of just bringing you guys primer options. I know for me, a video like this is really important because, like I said, before this experience, I had never really purchased a lot of drugstore primers. I only owned these three primers. So I'm really happy that I stepped out of my comfort zone and I really challenged myself to try different primers. So what I will say is comment down below if you want to share with me some drugstore primers that you love that I can test out. Also comment down below if you've ever tried any of these primers, and let me know what your experience with them was like. Let's see if we agreed and disagreed on some of these primers, and you know, just how it made your makeup look. Did you guys have the same experience as me? Was my experience a lot better than yours? Was your experience a lot better than mine? I'm really interested because I'm down just to see what other people feel about these primers. Yeah, I really love this, and I hope this is a video that, you know, you guys enjoy, and that you guys feel like you guys can take this information and then apply it to your life. And if you decide to purchase them, you guys will have some, just an idea of what to expect when you buy the product. All right, my loves, that about wraps it up for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Also, if you decided to subscribe, please hit that bell to be notified every single time I upload. That way you can, you know, be up to date with every single video that I upload, so you don't miss anything. You can know exactly what's going on my channel as it's happening. So I will see you guys in my next upload. As always, love first. Bye, my babies.